Jason Lee. All right, let me get a sip of water here because this guy. So I know a lot of you don't know who Jason Lee is. Some of you do. He is an entrepreneur. He is a celebrity gossip blogger. He's a reality star. He does some red carpet work from time to time. He's also the guy who announced that Queen Elizabeth was dead when she wasn't. And when people told him to correct that and change it, he said he and his blog never get it wrong. And guess what? They did get it wrong because she was alive and lived for several more months before she actually passed away. That's the type of guy we're dealing with. But anyway, more than anything, he is a messy boots. So recently I caught an interview that he did with conservative commentator Candace Owens, where they talked about a number of issues, namely LGBTQIA issues, and they got around to talking about transgender issues. Candace has been very vocal about the fact that she feels like a lot of trans people, particularly trans women, are cosplaying being a woman. But during the interview, Jason went left in a major way. Jason Lee is very passionate about these issues because he is a member of the LGBTQIA. He is a gay man. And the issue that I have with this man, Jason Lee, is that he has shown a history of being very, very disrespectful. There are Black women who don't like him because they feel like he has something out for Black women. I don't know that it's just out for Black women. I think he just does not like women, period, honestly. He has physically assaulted in the sense of, I remember he was on Love and Hip Hop Hollywood or something like that, and he threw a drink in a woman's face, Hazel E, for those of you who remember that episode.
Or a high-end blog that people...
Eat that, bitch.
So during his interview with Candace Owens, he took the time to say that some women don't do womanhood well. So by the way, this video was on the Zeus Network. I don't have Zeus Network, so we're going to have to work it some kind of way.
I don't like what Jason said here.
It's not a costume. It's not a costume. It's just not.
First of all, some of you don't even do it well. I mean, I know a lot of women that don't have lips, that don't have ass, that can't have kids, that, you know,
Just
and
proves
those
her
some that don't
point.
have uteruses.
It's not a
that probably
costume.
So Jason, let me ask you a question. What's the standard of doing it well as a woman? How misogynistic and disrespectful can you be that your definition and your idea of womanhood is diminished and defined by a woman's boobs, breasts, lips, and her ability to have kids? See, this is precisely what I have a problem with, Jason. You sitting up there as a grown man advocating for the trans community, which is great. That's wonderful, right? But in the process of doing so, you are disrespecting, disregarding, diminishing biological women and womanhood. We're over here comfortable as hell taking shots at biological women, the very thing that trans women are attempting to emulate. This shit doesn't make sense to me. Ladies, just a reminder, your womanhood is deeper than and not determined by your lips, your boobs, your butt, or your ability to have kids.
Evolution, I probably called it, I think we've devolved in many ways because people don't, like, they just can't answer basic questions like, what is a woman? That's pretty stupid, right? That's actually really stupid. And now all of a sudden, like, I don't know.
But don't you think some would argue that, I mean, I know people hate to have, there's so much you just said that we have to unpack, but I'm gonna just go back to this. Don't you think that there's people that would say that about us as Black people? That there was a time where we weren't sitting at the same counters, we weren't using the same bathrooms, we weren't able to go in the same doors, we didn't have the same rights, we were seen as less than human. I mean, I think...
It's not about less than human, I just don't think they exist. Like,
No, I'm saying in terms of Black people.
Well, you're talking about, right now you're conflating being Black, which is like, obviously you're born Black, you know what I mean? That's not something that I have to basically try to convince you.
Correct.
That, like, no, this is real. This person, look at the color of the skin. It's like, yeah, obviously we have different races. It's very obvious this person is Black. On the trans stuff, you're asking me to be crazy. You're asking me to look at a grown man and imagine that he's actually a woman. And that if he goes and gets work done, that he magically becomes a woman. So it's insanity. And I definitely, let's not conflate it with being Black.
Let's not do that. Period.
Would you defend it?
There's no defending crazy. That's crazy. But
why is that crazy?
Hold on. Because she's a white woman that says she's Black.
Genuinely, I just am trying to get you to pin down here.
Sit, relax.
But not acknowledge if Rachel Dolezal is
correct
trans issue. She's transracial. So give her respect. Put respect in her name.
Explain to me how.
Because on the inside she felt Black. She was dressing like she was Black.
Candace.
Her skin darker like she was Black. She was standing for the Black cause. She was working for the NAACP. It just happened to be that she was, you know, a white girl with blonde hair and freckles. And it only became problematic when somebody exposed it and people said, no, you can't just be Black. Why not? If you're gonna say that a man can just be a woman, why can't Rachel Dolezal just be Black?
Right.
Because
correct.
White.
Okay, because it's a man.
I'm actually embarrassed for this guy. I thought it was just really disgusting. And I just feel like Jason is constantly pandering for the LGBTQIA community. It never really, for me, even though he's a part of it, feels genuine. I feel like he's just trying so hard to avoid cancellation that he is willing to insult every other community to prop that community up. I've said repeatedly on my channel, particularly when I was talking with LGBTQIA issues and with race issues, that there's a way to support your own side without being offensive to somebody else. You know what I mean? And denigrating somebody else just because you are on a certain side. And he clearly has not learned that lesson. I thought that Candace actually handled this interview very well. She's very seasoned when it comes to dealing with these interviews anyway. And he just came off very ignorant and very misogynistic, if I'm being honest. And I was really disappointed. I mean, but this is a guy, like I said, when I watch Jason Lee, and I've watched him over the years, he really does seem like he has an issue with women. He can deny that, and it may not be the truth, but I'm just saying from his deportment, the way he carries himself, he seems like he has a serious issue with women. He always has something negative to say. For him to talk about how women aren't really doing it well just really validates Candace's point. Women don't have to do anything well to be a woman. They're women. If they're biological women, that's who they are. That's what they are. They don't have to do anything to put on a performance for you or anybody else. He said some of y'all don't have lips. To me, it would be akin to saying a man is not really a man if he isn't a certain height, if he doesn't have chest hair, if he doesn't have muscles, if he doesn't have a certain sized member of parliament. Use your imagination. He must not be a man. And those things don't make a man a man. You could have a man who is 5'4", he's still a man. A man who's 4'11" is still a man. A man who has a smaller member of parliament is still a man. A man who might not have chest hair or even facial hair is still a man. So why are we ascribing these things to a woman and saying that her womanhood is determined by her having these things? Because he's saying, well, you know, a lot of y'all men are coming over on this side. Why? If they're coming on Jason's side, because he's gay, if you have men who are supposedly straight coming on that side, then they're not straight. They ain't straight. I'm sorry. They're not straight. They're bisexual. They might be interested in trans women. They might be curious. They might be whatever, but they're not straight. Then, because if you're a gay man, you ain't trying to get with a heterosexual woman. You're not. So I don't know why he thought that was such a burn to say, well, so y'all ain't doing it right, and that's why y'all men coming over here. If they're coming over there, let them come over there, because they don't belong over here. They want what you have, not what women have. So go off with that. And I thought that Candace gave a perfect example when she talked about, oh Lord, I just forgot the lady's name, the white lady that was masquerading as being black. I'll put her name on the screen. Lord, her name just went out of my mind. I don't want to rewind it. I thought that was a brilliant point, because a lot of black people will not accept a white person who says, listen, I identify as black. Culturally, I identify as black. I like my hair this certain way. I like to eat a certain food. I like to listen to certain music. I'm more ingrained in the black community than the white community. So I'm just going to identify as black. A lot of black people would have been like, you need to get the hell on up out of here with that foolishness. So when she brought that up, he had an issue with it, you see, because now he's like, how is that going to come across if he tells his audience, okay, yeah, it's the same thing. So now he's like, no, it's not the same thing. But he just came across as a hypocrite and a fool. And let me also say something, because I hear this all the time. Every time an individual says, well, a transgender woman doesn't have the biological equipment to give birth to a child, to conceive a child. And they will say, well, a biological woman is not that much of a woman if she can't do the same thing. Those are two totally different things. You have one that is genetically wired, biologically wired to bring forth children. Things happen that could render a biological woman, infertile. All sorts of things happen. That does not mean that she is any less of a woman. It's no different than a man who his semen may not be healthy. He may not be able to reproduce, but that doesn't make him not a man. He's still biologically a man. And, you know, I've said 1,000 times on my platform that I hate when people feel like in order to defend one group, they must denigrate another. You can say I support trans rights. I support transgender people having, access. I don't want people to harm them. I don't want people to discriminate against them and all that stuff. You can say that and support that, and I'd support that too, because I don't believe in that foolishness. But I am also capable of saying, but those two things are different. And there are trans people who have appeared on my platform, and you guys, I'll definitely tag the videos. You guys can watch it for yourself, who have said, listen, we're different. We know that even though we identify as a trans man or a trans woman, we know that we're different from biological men and biological women. I don't know why that is so controversial. There's a difference. And I thought Jason really just showed his backside in this interview, and I'm happy that there were some content creators that talked about it, but I was disappointed that it didn't explode the way I thought it should, because how dare a man say to a woman that some of you don't do womanhood well enough? And I think what he's trying to say is that there are some women who just aren't as feminine as trans women. There are trans women who are feminine, and there are trans women who overdo it. Their gesticulations, all their actions and all that stuff, they put on too much. Like, as a woman, you don't have to do all that person, and you have some women who are like that, but that's not every woman. And that goes back to Candace's point about the cosplaying, about feeling the need to put on a performance to show that you are a woman. It's not necessary. Jason really, I just was disgusted by him. But again, like I told you, this is a man who has shown, he's denigrated women in the past many times. Just a few months ago, he was threatening Beyonce, saying that if Kelly Rowland didn't come on his show, he was going to expose Beyonce. And this is a woman he says he loves. He always, I don't know what it is about this guy. I think he got too much clout and too much power too quickly, because it's definitely gone to his head. And now he just says the most reckless things. And far be it from me, trust me, I don't believe in people being politically correct all the time. I'm not that person who's always walk on eggshells, but I think there's a way to not be disrespectful. And I just felt like that was blatantly disrespectful. And I wonder if he would have said that to anybody else other than Candace Owens. I know that his audience probably hates Candace, because a lot of Black people in the Black community do not like her. But at the end of the day, you're talking to somebody who is heavily pregnant with her 4th child. And by the way, he made some statement to her like, oh, girl, you always pregnant. And if she's always pregnant, so what? She's pregnant for her husband, and this is her 4th child for her husband. And she can afford to have 5 more kids if she wants to. What do you mean, girl, you always pregnant? Like she on assistance or something like that. He's just reckless, man. If you all have Zeus, feel free to watch it. I'm not going to run on too long with this, but I just felt like he was just, his misogynistic nature was on full display in this interview. And I saw that Candace laughed at, certain things that he had to say, and I don't blame her. I would laugh at him too. And I don't know how she kept her composure. I really got to give her props, because I just would have been like, this guy is such a clown. Such a clown to disrespect so many women like that. But he's a disrespectful individual. Anyway, drop your comments down below. Let me know what you think about his comments. And, before I go, last year or year before, I can't remember, I did a video on some trans women getting disrespectful. And I'll link it up here. And I think I put some TikTok clips inside of that video. And I was just talking about the fact that there were some trans women who were just kind of rage baiting a lot of biological women, and saying one of them was like, your nether region is not the same. I have a designer, you know what? And it's it's crazy. You say that you're a woman, right? And you're emulating what a woman is. And then you're going to denigrate the original. Every single person, be they trans or not, came from a woman, entered this world through a woman, and you're denigrating a woman for clout because you think it's cute? Jason Lee, I would never I will never respect that fella, ever, because he has again shown a history of just hating on women. He's a woman hater. He honestly is. And he has the history to show it. Drop your comments down below. I would love to hear what you all have to say. I know a lot of you haven't seen that interview because you don't have Zeus, but hopefully these snippets that I put in here are sufficient so you can kind of get an idea. I thought Candace held her own. And this is not a trans bashing video by any stretch of the imagination, by any means. I don't do that, but I just was disgusted by Jason's comments, and I don't think that he was thinking, or if he was thinking and he still thinks like that was appropriate, he's wrong, he's mistaken. But he'll learn the hard way. It's hard for me to believe that so many women still support him after that. Like, he's insulting you. Even if he's talking to Candace, he's insulting you. And he's insulting me. Anyway, drop your comments down below. Please be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you like this video. If 5,000 people, if you watch this, please give it a thumbs up. All 5,000 of you. If 10,000 watch this video, please just give it a thumbs up, because it really helps push the video through the algorithm and helps other people who might enjoy this content the way you do get to see it. So please give it a thumbs up and drop your comments down below. As usual, I will join you down in the comments section to weigh in, and I would love to hear from women, especially women who might be infertile, women who've chosen not to have children. I want to hear from you guys, especially because for him to say some of y'all don't do it well, some of y'all are infertile, like, who the hell are you talking to, bruh? I want to hear from you ladies. And of course, follow me on my blog, thisbahamiangyal.com. You can also sign up for my newsletter. Everything will be linked down below in the description box, and I'll also pin it in the comment down below. I love you guys, and thank you. And sorry I didn't tell you guys I was going out of town. Sorry about that. I know a lot of you were hitting me up and asking, hey, is there a video this week? And I should have let you guys know, but I was just trying to really just enjoy myself and just take a breather. But I will see you guys in my next video. I'll give you a few videos this week. I love you guys. Mwah. Let me drink my water, chat. Cool my passion.